Hi, Shiva Bisasa, Managing Director of Pinaka Consulting. At Pinaka, our core competency is information security, and that allows us to play in the fintech space and the cybersecurity space, offering professional services and products. We wanted to talk to you guys today on the virtual asset regulation in Trinidad and Tobago, the progress of it, what's been taking place. And this is in the context of public consultations which took place 1 year ago in September 2023 by financial regulators. But before we look at now, we need to look back in the past a little bit. In October 2014, UN ECLAC commenced a study looking at opportunities and risks of digital currency within the Caribbean. This study contained a survey instrument for central banks. Um, the conduct of two expert group meetings was held as well. And these experts were from various fields. So, for example, we had innovators, entrepreneurs in the digital currency space, as well as regulators sharing their views in a in a closed forum. The research was published in January 2016, and the findings hold true to today. So, for example, one of the areas we touched on would have been around improving capacity for law enforcement in the area of blockchain analytics. And this is an area that needs attention. Penaka also participated in a study in 2023 which looked at illicit virtual asset usage within the Caribbean territory and as well as reviewed the legal and regulatory environment. And of course, to do this, blockchain analytics expertise was required. And this is something that is required by law enforcement and regulators, as the regulators may have to validate reporting which the virtual asset service providers may give them. Another finding from that ECLAC report, which holds true to today, is around the existing legal frameworks. Do they adequately cover cryptocurrency and virtual assets? And if they don't, do authorities want to consider adapting existing laws or enacting new legislation and regulation to cater for cryptocurrency and virtual assets? And again, this is relevant because in January 2023, the IMF, as part of a technical assistance report into in Trinidad and Tobago, they pronounced on the need for an impact assessment for legal and regulatory reforms towards developing a strategy for crypto assets. So, other relevant findings within the IMF report speak to the use of crypto assets and not so much stablecoins, interests by parties to have crypto ATMs installed, and as well, there was a perception of low levels of crypto asset usage, which was pinned. The underlying reason for this was pinned back to legal and regulatory uncertainty. So, having that legal and regulatory certainty is necessary to have an environment where you are able to explore the opportunities and still cater for the risks. FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, has mandated jurisdictions to take a look at or be educated on operators of new technology within their jurisdiction. And this has led to licensing or registration of virtual asset service providers. But before you do that, of course, you need to have the regulation which mandates the service providers to now become licensed or registered with you. Another FATF recommendation is around the travel rule, which mandates in money transmission that the sender details and the recipient details be recorded by the service provider above a certain value being transmitted. So, for any VASP, of course, implementing this now, it is going to require some technical implementation, and it does require some preparation to get to that level. So, what is taking place in other jurisdictions? If we're looking at Trinidad and Tobago regulation, what is taking place in other jurisdictions? So, in Bahamas, which is seen as a leader in the exploration of opportunities in the digital currency space, they have legislation to deal with cryptocurrency. It's the DARE Act. They had it since 2020. There is now a revised act in 2024. And they are seen as a leader in the space because they have the ability to provide that regulatory clarity, which allows businesses to build and thrive, as you saw from the IMF recommendation there or finding. Um, if you don't cater if you don't regulate these entities, the other option the FATF gives you is to ban these entities. And we see this happening in the Caribbean. Belize, for example, has banned these operations. Guyana has banned these operations until a specific date around 2025, when a particular office will then be fully operational to accept licenses and registration of virtual asset service providers. Illicit activity. So, this is something that you want to prevent within your jurisdiction. And of course, there's prevalence of scams within the region, promise of uh, crypto if you send particular person's fiat, but the crypto never comes. Investment schemes is another one where you send a particular set of crypto and you're promised a fantastic return, but it never comes to pass. In societies where you have high migrant population, you may find money transmission outside of the licensed means taking place via virtual currencies. Ransomware is another area that has a nexus with cryptocurrency, and it has affected Caribbean entities recently. Um, so, where do we go from here, or what is required for the Caribbean to advance and properly cater for the risk while exploring the opportunities? A mutual evaluation report from Dominica in July 2023, and I'm going to read straight from the quote. Additional human resources, financial resources, and capacity building is requirement for the supervisory authorities to carry out its mandate with respect to supervision and monitoring of the emerging VASP sector. It's plain and simple there. And that brings us back to today. Where do we go from here? And following on from the initial meeting, public consultation last year in September 2023, by Q2 2024, it was promised that we would receive a draft regulatory framework, followed by market consultation and finalization of the framework. So we're looking forward to seeing that. And that's it. Would love to hear your feedback on this new format that we're trying out as well. Please use the comment section to reach out and leave your feedback. Thank you.